Have you ever wondered what makes a man crave your presence, think about you endlessly, and take the lead in pursuing you? Let me ask you this. What if the secret isn't about what you say or do, but about what you don't? It's time to challenge the conventional advice that tells women they need to work harder, talk louder, or prove their worth at every turn. What if the most powerful moves you could make are the silent ones, the moves that whisper mystery, exude confidence, and leave him wanting more? Too often, women fall into the trap of over-explaining, over-communicating, or trying to make things happen. But here's the truth. Silence is seductive. It's a magnet that pulls men closer, a void they feel compelled to fill. And when used intentionally, it's a tool that flips the dynamic in your favor. In this video, we're diving deep into 10 transformative silent moves that will leave him chasing you. These are not manipulative tactics. They are empowering strategies rooted in self-respect, emotional intelligence, and a sprinkle of stoicism. These moves will not only make him chase you, but also help you feel more in control, more attractive, and more aligned with your true self. Are you ready to discover how to unleash this silent power and let it transform your love life? Let's start with the first move, the foundation of it all. 1. The power of mystery. Why silence works. Picture this. A man spends hours trying to decipher your thoughts, replaying your interactions, and wondering what you're doing when you're not with him. That's the power of mystery, and it starts with silence. When you're an open book, answering every question instantly or oversharing every detail of your day, you eliminate the intrigue that keeps a man's mind fixated on you. Men, by nature, are hunters. They thrive on the thrill of the chase. But how can he chase you when you've already given him the map, the coordinates, and the destination? Here's where silence steps in. It creates a gap, a void, that triggers curiosity. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves drawn to the things we don't fully understand? It's human nature. When you hold back, you invite him into your world without giving him full access. You become a puzzle, a challenge, a treasure he can't resist uncovering. But let's get practical. How does this look in action? Start with your responses. When he asks, "What are you thinking?" Instead of blurting out an answer, pause, smile, and say, "Oh, just something interesting." Leave it at that. Watch his eyes light up as he tries to decode your mystery. Or, when he texts, don't always reply immediately. Give it time. Let him wonder where you are and what you're doing. This isn't about playing games. It's about preserving your mystique. And what about in person? Silence can be just as powerful. In a conversation, resist the urge to fill every pause with words. Instead, embrace the stillness. Look him in the eyes, hold his gaze, and let him feel the weight of your presence. This quiet confidence speaks volumes. It says, "I don't need to prove myself to you. I'm already enough." Here's a little secret. Mystery isn't just about making him chase you. It's about creating space for genuine connection. When you're selective with your words and actions, you invite him to lean in, to ask questions, to invest more of himself into understanding you. And the more he invests, the more he values you. But let's address the elephant in the room. Doesn't silence risk pushing him away? Won't he lose interest if you're not constantly engaging with him? This is a common fear, but let me tell you, it's a myth. When used with intention, silence doesn't push him away. It pulls him closer. Why? Because silence speaks a language of self-assuredness, one that says, "I'm worth chasing, and I know it." The trick is balance. Silence doesn't mean shutting down or being cold. It's about being thoughtful, intentional, and strategic. It's about leaving room for him to step up, take action, and meet you halfway. And when he does, you'll feel the shift. You'll see how his curiosity grows into admiration, how his admiration turns into desire, and how his desire compels him to chase you. So, I ask you, are you ready to embrace the power of mystery? Are you ready to step into your silent strength and let it magnetize him? If this resonates with you, stay tuned. The next move is about building the confidence that makes silence your greatest ally. 2. Build confidence. Silence starts with you. Before we dive deeper, let's talk about the real foundation of making a man chase you through silent moves, your confidence. Without it, every strategy I'm about to share falls flat. Silence, when backed by insecurity or fear, feels awkward and forced. But silence rooted in confidence? That's magnetic. That's the kind of silence that commands attention without you even trying. Now, let me ask you this. How confident do you feel in yourself right now? Truly, are you the kind of woman who can walk into a room and own it, even without saying a word? If not, don't worry. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. And trust me, it's the most powerful tool in your arsenal when it comes to silent moves. Here's the beauty of confidence. It allows you to let go of the need to control everything. When you're confident, you don't need to over-explain yourself. You don't feel the pressure to always be the one texting first or filling every moment of silence with words. Instead, you're at ease in your skin. You know your worth, and that's incredibly attractive. But how do you cultivate this level of self-assuredness? Let's break it down. 1. Focus on what makes you feel good about yourself. Confidence starts from within, but it's reinforced by the way you treat yourself. Are you taking care of your body, your mind, and your spirit? Whether it's hitting the gym, eating well, or practicing daily affirmations, these small habits build an unshakable foundation of self-worth. When you feel good about yourself, it shows. Your posture changes, your energy shifts, and suddenly, you don't need to say much to leave a lasting impression. 2. Learn to be comfortable in your own company. This is crucial. Confidence doesn't come from being surrounded by people or constantly seeking validation. It comes from enjoying your own presence. Spend time doing things you love, whether it's reading, painting, traveling, or simply enjoying a cup of coffee in solitude. The more you learn to enjoy your own company, the less you'll rely on external approval. And that independence, it's like a flame that draws men in. Here's something to remember. Silence isn't just about what you don't say. It's about the energy you carry when you're quiet. Confidence amplifies that energy. When you're self-assured, your silence doesn't feel like avoidance or discomfort. It feels intentional. It feels powerful. A man will pick up on that. He'll sense that you're not silent because you're unsure or shy, but because you're so secure in yourself that you don't need to fill the space with unnecessary chatter. 3. Embrace stoicism. This is where stoicism comes in, a mindset that's all about composure, control, and inner strength. Stoic principles teach us that true confidence isn't loud or boastful, it's calm and steady. When you adopt this mindset, you stop reacting to every little thing. You're no longer thrown off by a delayed text or a lukewarm compliment. Instead, you stay centered, knowing that your value doesn't depend on his attention. And that, my friend, is a game changer. Confidence isn't about perfection. Let's address the elephant in the room. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's not about having everything figured out or being flawless in every way. In fact, true confidence comes from embracing your imperfections. It's about knowing that you're enough just as you are and owning it. When you fully accept yourself, you radiate a kind of authenticity that's impossible to resist. Practical tip. Practice mindful pauses. Instead of filling every moment with words, let there be moments of quiet. Breathe, smile, and hold eye contact. These pauses create space for him to lean in, to wonder, and to engage with you on a deeper level. The best part? You'll feel how empowering it is to hold your ground, to not feel rushed, and to let your confidence do the talking. At this point you might be thinking, what if I don't feel confident yet? What if silence makes me feel vulnerable? That's okay. Confidence is a journey, not a destination. Start small. Experiment with holding back a little in your conversations. Test the waters. And remember, confidence grows with action. The more you step into this mindset, the more natural it will feel. Take the first step. Let's make a pact right now. If this resonates with you, I want you to do 2 things. Like this video and comment number 1 below to show that you're ready to start building your confidence. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. This channel is here to help you transform your love life with actionable, empowering advice that works. So don't miss out. And before we move on, take a moment to imagine yourself a month from now, a woman who doesn't need to chase anyone because her silent, confident energy makes him chase her. That's where we're heading. Stick with me, because the next move will take this to a whole new level. Are you ready? 3. Strategic withdrawal. Let him miss you. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly let someone miss you, not just for a few hours, but really gave them the space to feel your absence? Most of us are so afraid of losing someone's attention that we cling too tightly. But here's the irony. The tighter you hold, the faster they slip away. Strategic withdrawal flips the script. It's not about disappearing or playing games. It's about creating space for him to realize what life feels like without you in it. The psychology of absence. People don't value what's always available. When something is abundant and easy to access, it becomes part of the background, almost invisible. But when it's suddenly taken away, its value skyrockets. This is human nature. Think about your own experiences. Haven't you ever wanted something more when it wasn't immediately within reach? That's exactly what happens when you step back and give him room to miss you. Strategic withdrawal doesn't mean ghosting him or being unnecessarily distant. It's about subtle shifts in your energy and availability. Instead of always being the one to text first or initiate plans, you start pulling back just enough to make him wonder what's changed. Maybe you take a little longer to reply to his messages. Maybe you're less available for spontaneous meetups. Or maybe you simply let him come to you for once. Confidence is key. Here's the key. You must pair this with confidence. Without confidence, withdrawal can come across as insecurity or disinterest. You don't want him to think you're pulling back because you're upset or playing mind games. Instead, your actions should communicate, I have a full, vibrant life, and I'm perfectly happy whether you're chasing me or not. How strategic withdrawal works. Let's imagine a scenario. You've had an amazing date, and the next day, he texts you something casual like, "Hey, how's your day going?" Instead of responding immediately, pause. Take your time. Maybe even wait a few hours before replying with something light and breezy. Why? Because that pause gives him a moment to wonder about you, to imagine what you might be doing. It plants a seed of curiosity that makes him eager to hear from you. During that time, he starts thinking about you more. He begins to notice the gap you've left. And if he's genuinely interested, he'll start working to close that gap. This is the beauty of strategic withdrawal. It shifts the dynamic. Instead of you chasing him, he's now the one putting in the effort to keep you close. Observe his response. This approach also gives you an opportunity to observe his behavior. Does he step up when you pull back, or does he drift away? His response will tell you a lot about his intentions and emotional investment. And the best part, you're not forcing anything. You're simply creating space for the truth to reveal itself. The balance of withdrawal. Let's be real for a moment. This isn't always easy. If you're used to being the one who keeps the connection alive, pulling back can feel uncomfortable, even scary. You might worry that he'll lose interest or think you don't care. But here's the truth. If he's genuinely interested in you, he won't let a little space push him away. In fact, it will only make him more intrigued. The trick is to strike the right balance. Too much withdrawal can feel like rejection, while too little won't create the space he needs to miss you. The sweet spot lies in the subtlety. It's about making him work just a little harder to keep you engaged, without feeling like you're punishing or testing him. The benefits of strategic withdrawal. Strategic withdrawal isn't just for his benefit, it's for yours too. It allows you to refocus your energy on yourself, your goals, your passions, and your happiness. It reminds you that your world doesn't revolve around him, which is incredibly empowering. When you're busy living your best life, your absence speaks volumes. It says, "I'm not waiting around for you. If you want me, you'll have to make the effort." The power of absence. One of the most powerful results of withdrawal is that it shifts his perception of you. You go from being someone who's always there to someone who's mysterious, independent, and worth chasing. This change creates a sense of urgency in him. He realizes that if he doesn't step up, he risks losing you, and that's exactly what makes him chase you. Reflect and reclaim your power. So, take a moment to reflect. Are you giving him the opportunity to miss you? Or are you so present in his life that he doesn't have the chance to feel your absence? If the latter is true, it's time to start pulling back. Not as a game, but as a way to reclaim your own energy and let him come to you. It requires patience, confidence, and trust in yourself. But when done right, it's a silent move that speaks louder than words. And the best part? It puts you back in the driver's seat, where you belong. Fourth, non-verbal communication. Speaking without words. Have you ever walked into a room and felt someone's presence without them saying a single word? Their energy, confidence, and essence speak volumes without a sound. That's the magic of non-verbal communication. It's one of the most powerful, silent tools you can use to make someone chase you. Words can be overused, misunderstood, or even ignored. But your body language? That's where the real connection happens. Men are visual creatures. They notice the subtle details, the way you carry yourself, the way your eyes linger just a second longer, the way your smile seems to hold a secret. Non-verbal communication is your ultimate tool to draw him in without uttering a single word. So, let's talk about how you can master it. The first step is owning your space. Confidence isn't just something you feel, it's something you project. Stand tall, shoulders back, head high. When you walk, let your movements be deliberate and graceful. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about embodying the energy of a woman who knows her worth. Men can't help but notice when a woman walks into a room with this kind of presence. Then there's eye contact. Have you ever locked eyes with someone and felt an electric current pass between you? That's the power of a well-placed gaze. When you look at him, hold his gaze for a moment longer than usual. Let your eyes do the talking. A playful, lingering look says more than 100 text messages ever could. It's flirtatious, mysterious, and unforgettable. Your smile is another silent weapon, but not just any smile. The kind of smile that feels genuine, that reaches your eyes, that makes him wonder what's going through your mind. Smile when you catch him looking at you. Smile when you walk away. A smile can be an invitation, a tease, or a promise. It's all in how you deliver it. Then there's the art of physical touch, but not in an obvious way. A light touch on his arm during a conversation, a gentle brush of your hand as you pass something to him. These small gestures create a sense of closeness and intimacy without overwhelming him. Touch is one of the most primal forms of communication, and when used sparingly, it can leave a lasting impression. But let's not forget the most important aspect of nonverbal communication: listening with your body. When he's talking, lean in slightly to show you're engaged. When appropriate, subtly mirror his movements. This creates a subconscious sense of connection and makes him feel understood. When he feels that connection, he'll want more of it. Nonverbal communication isn't just about what you do when you're with him, it's also about how you leave him wanting more. For example, when you say goodbye, let your body language linger for a moment. Hold his gaze, give him a soft smile, and then walk away with confidence. That final image of you will stay in his mind long after you're gone. Now, here's where things get fun. Combining these elements with a little unpredictability. Maybe one day you're warm and inviting with your body language, and the next, you're a little more reserved, leaving him wondering what's on your mind. This unpredictability keeps things exciting and makes him work harder to understand you. But remember, nonverbal communication isn't just about attracting him. It's also about setting boundaries and showing self-respect. If you're not feeling comfortable or interested, your body language can make that clear without the need for confrontation. Crossed arms, minimal eye contact, or stepping back slightly are all ways to signal your feelings while staying composed and graceful. At this point, you might be wondering, how do I make this feel natural? The key is practice. Start by paying attention to your body language in everyday interactions. Are you slouching, fidgeting, or avoiding eye contact? Begin to adjust these habits, and over time, confident body language will become second nature. Here's a little challenge. For the next week, focus on your non-verbal communication when you're around him, or anyone for that matter. Notice how people respond to your energy. Notice how it changes the way they look at you, speak to you, and treat you. You'll be amazed at the impact these silent moves can have. If this resonates with you, take a moment right now to like this video and comment number 1 below if you're ready to embrace the power of nonverbal communication. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tips that will help you transform your love life and step into your full power. Imagine the next time you're with him, you're not overthinking what to say or how to act. You're simply present, confident, and letting your silent moves do the work. That's the kind of woman he can't help but chase. So, are you ready to become her? Let's keep going. There's so much more to explore. 5. Create emotional depth through silence. Let's dive into something deeper. How silence, when used intentionally, can create emotional depth in your connection with him. Yes, silence can be playful and mysterious, but it also holds the power to transform surface-level attraction into something far more profound. Emotional depth isn't about saying the right words at the right time. It's about creating space for feelings, vulnerability, and connection to flourish. Think about it. How often do we rush to fill silence because it feels uncomfortable? How often do we talk just to avoid awkward pauses? But here's the thing, it's in those quiet moments that true emotional intimacy begins. Silence gives both of you the chance to process, reflect, and connect in ways that words often cannot. When you embrace silence, you signal that you're comfortable with yourself and the relationship. You're not afraid of the quiet, and that confidence is deeply attractive. It tells him, I don't need to fill the space with noise. I trust that our connection speaks for itself. This level of trust and ease creates a foundation for emotional depth that's hard to replicate with constant chatter. One of the most effective ways to create emotional depth through silence is by becoming a great listener. When he talks, resist the urge to immediately respond or relate his experience back to your own. Instead, give him the space to express himself fully. Use your body language. Lean in slightly, maintain eye contact, and nod to show you're engaged. Let the silence between his words stretch just a little longer, encouraging him to open up even more. You'll find that when you allow these pauses, he'll often share things he didn't plan to, thoughts, feelings, or dreams that might not have surfaced otherwise. These moments of vulnerability are where true emotional connection is born. And here's the secret. People are drawn to those who make them feel seen and heard. When he feels safe sharing his deepest thoughts with you, he won't just be attracted to you, he'll be invested in you. Another powerful way to use silence is during conflict or emotionally charged moments. It's easy to react impulsively when emotions run high, but silence allows you to pause, process, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting in the heat of the moment. This kind of composure, rooted in emotional maturity, shows him that you're not someone who gets swept up in chaos. You're someone who stays grounded and thoughtful, even when things get tough. In these moments, silence also creates space for him to reflect on his own feelings and behavior. Instead of escalating the disagreement with immediate reactions, your silence can serve as an invitation for him to take responsibility and approach the situation with more clarity. This doesn't mean giving him the silent treatment that's punitive and unproductive. Instead, it's about using quiet as a tool for understanding and resolution. Silence also has the unique ability to make your words carry more weight. When you don't speak unnecessarily, the things you do say become more impactful. Imagine this. You're having a heartfelt conversation, and instead of filling every pause with reassurance or explanations, you allow your emotions to shine through your silence. When you finally do speak, your words are layered with meaning, and he'll hang on to every one of them. Creating emotional depth through silence isn't just about him, it's also about you. It's about creating space for yourself to reflect and understand your own emotions. When you give yourself permission to be quiet, you connect more deeply with your feelings, desires, and boundaries. This self-awareness allows you to bring your authentic self into the relationship, and that authenticity is the foundation of any meaningful connection. Here's an exercise to try. The next time you're together, resist the urge to dominate the conversation. Instead, ask him an open-ended question, something like, "What's something you've always wanted to do but haven't yet?" Then just listen. Don't rush to share your own answer or opinion. Let the conversation flow naturally, with moments of silence to give his thoughts space to breathe. You'll be amazed at how much deeper the interaction feels. Finally, silence can create moments of shared intimacy that words simply can't. Picture this, sitting together in quiet contentment, no need to talk, just enjoying each other's presence. Maybe it's a walk in the park, a long drive, or watching the stars. These moments don't require words to be meaningful. They're powerful because of the unspoken connection they create. So, I'll leave you with this thought. When was the last time you embraced silence in your interactions with him? Not as an absence of communication, but as a way to deepen your bond. The next time you feel the urge to fill the quiet pause, trust in the power of silence. You might just discover that it says everything you need to. 6. Focus on your life and be irresistibly independent. Let me ask you something. When you're fully immersed in your passions, living life on your terms, how do you feel? Confident? Empowered? Free? Now imagine how that energy looks from the outside, how magnetic it must be to anyone watching. This is the essence of being irresistibly independent, and it's one of the most powerful, silent moves you can use to make a man chase you. Here's the truth. Nothing is more attractive than a woman who doesn't revolve her world around a man. Independence is your secret weapon. It shows him that while you're interested in him, you're not dependent on his attention or approval to feel fulfilled. And that That's intoxicating. When you focus on your life, you're sending a clear message. I am a whole, vibrant, dynamic person. I don't need you, but I choose to have you in my life. This subtle shift in energy changes everything. Suddenly, you're not chasing him. You're creating a life so magnetic that he can't help but chase you. But how do you embody this independence in a way that feels authentic and empowering? It starts with identifying what lights you up. What are your passions? What are the goals you've been putting off? Maybe it's time to take that dance class you've always wanted to try, launch that side hustle you've been dreaming about, or simply spend more time with friends and family who uplift you. When you're actively engaged in building a life you love, you naturally radiate confidence and fulfillment. This energy is contagious, and it draws people in, especially men. They'll sense that you have your own world, your own rhythm, your own purpose, and that makes you irresistible. One of the most beautiful aspects of focusing on your life is that it allows you to practice Stoic principles. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize what we can control, our own actions, emotions, and goals, while letting go of what we can't control, like someone else's behavior or feelings. When you embrace this mindset, you stop seeking validation from him and start finding it within yourself. This inner strength makes you unshakable, and it's something men find incredibly attractive. Let's talk about how this looks in practice. Imagine he texts you to make last-minute plans, but you've already scheduled a self-care night or dinner with friends. Instead of dropping everything to accommodate him, you stick to your plans. Politely let him know you're busy and suggest another time. This small act of prioritizing your own life shows him that you're not waiting around for him to fill your time. And trust me, it will make him work harder to earn a spot in your world. Or perhaps you're in a conversation and he asks about your day. Instead of giving a generic response, share something exciting or meaningful you've done. Maybe you finally started that yoga class or spent the afternoon working on a creative project. When he sees how passionate and engaged you are with your own life, he'll be intrigued. He'll want to know more, to be part of the world you're building for yourself. Focusing on your life also creates a sense of scarcity, and scarcity breeds desire. When your time and energy are invested in your own growth and happiness, he'll realize he can't take you for granted. He'll feel the need to step up, to meet you at your level, to prove he's worth your time. Now, let's address a common fear. Some women worry that focusing on their own life will push a man away, that he'll lose interest if they're not constantly available. But here's the truth. A man who's worth your time will be drawn to your independence, not intimidated by it. He'll respect and admire your commitment to yourself, and he'll be motivated to earn your attention rather than expecting it to be handed to him. So, here's a challenge for you. Take a moment to reflect on your life right now. Are you living in a way that feels aligned with your passions, values, and goals? Or have you been putting your own happiness on hold to prioritize someone else's needs? If it's the latter, it's time to make a change. Start small if you need to. Pick one thing you've been wanting to do for yourself and commit to it this week. Notice how it feels to prioritize your own joy and growth. When you start to embody this independence, you'll notice a shift, not just in how he sees you, but in how you see yourself. You'll feel more confident, more fulfilled, more alive, and that energy will naturally draw him closer without you needing to say or do anything to make it happen. If this resonates with you, I want you to like this video and comment number 1 below to show that you're ready to focus on your life and embrace your independence. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join this community of women stepping into their power and creating the love lives they deserve. Now, imagine this. A life so full, so rich, so exciting that he's not just chasing you, he's working to be part of the incredible world you've built for yourself. That's the power of independence, and trust me, when you embody it, you'll never have to chase anyone again. Stay tuned, because the next move will take your allure to an entirely new level. 7. Master the art of timing. When to be silent, when to speak. Timing is everything, in love, in life, and especially in the silent moves that make him chase you. It's not just about knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. It's about understanding how your actions, or lack thereof, create anticipation, mystery, and desire. When you master the art of timing, you become a woman who is both unpredictable and unforgettable. Let's start with the idea of unpredictability. Humans are creatures of habit, and we're wired to be drawn to things that break our patterns. If you always respond to him within seconds, always say yes to plans, or always make yourself available, your behavior becomes predictable. Predictability, while comforting in some ways, can quickly diminish the spark of intrigue. But when your timing is deliberate, a mix of spontaneous and strategic, you become someone he can't quite figure out. And that's captivating. Imagine this. He sends you a text late at night, expecting his usual quick reply, but this time you don't answer until the next morning. That pause isn't just about making him wait. It's about creating space for curiosity. What were you doing? Who were you with? The gap between his action and your response is where his mind starts to fill in the blanks. And let's be honest, those blanks are often filled with thoughts of you. But timing isn't just about playing hard to get. It's about knowing when to lean in and when to pull back. For example, if you've had an amazing date and you're both clearly feeling the connection, staying silent for too long afterward can send mixed signals. In moments like these, a well-timed message, short, sweet and warm, can keep the energy flowing without overextending yourself. It's about balance and keeping the rhythm of attraction alive. Silence is most powerful when paired with intent. If you're silent because you're unsure or trying to manipulate, it can backfire. But when your silence is deliberate and confident, it communicates something far more powerful. That you're not rushing, that you're not desperate, and that you trust the natural flow of things. This kind of timing creates a sense of calm and control that men find irresistible. Let's take a look at a common scenario: the post-date follow-up. If he hasn't reached out right away, many women feel tempted to text first, to check in or clear the air. But here's the truth. Rushing to fill the silence often robs him of the chance to take the lead. Instead, give it time. Let him process the date. Let him think about you. When he does reach out, your patience will have made his message all the more meaningful. There's also an art to knowing when to speak up. Silence is powerful, but so are your words when used with precision. If he's sharing something vulnerable or meaningful, silence can show that you're listening, but a thoughtful response at the right moment can deepen the connection. The key is to be present, to tune into the moment, and to trust your intuition about when your voice will add value and when your silence will speak louder. One of the most overlooked aspects of timing is how it reflects your self-control. When you can resist the urge to respond immediately, when you can sit with the silence instead of filling it, you demonstrate a level of maturity and emotional resilience that's incredibly attractive. It shows that you're not driven by impulse or fear, but by intention and confidence. This is where Stoicism comes into play. Love's Stoic principles teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and reactions, while letting go of what we can't control, like his timing or behavior. When you embrace this mindset, you stop worrying about whether he'll text back or when he'll make plans. Instead, you trust in your own timing, knowing that your silence and your words are tools you wield with care and precision. Timing also extends to knowing when to let go. If he's not responding, If he's not putting in effort, your silence becomes a boundary. It says, "I'm not chasing you. I'm here when you're ready to meet me halfway." This kind of silence isn't passive. It's active. It's a declaration of your standards and your self-respect. So think about this. How are you using timing in your interactions with him? Are you rushing to fill the silence, or are you allowing it to work in your favor? Are your words and actions thoughtful, or are they reactive? When you start to see timing as an art, you'll realize how much power you hold, not over him, but over yourself and how you navigate the relationship. Silence and speech, presence and absence, they're all part of the dance. When you master the timing of your steps, you create a rhythm that keeps him intrigued, engaged, and chasing after you. 8. Leave a lasting impression. Without words, have you ever considered how much power lies in the way you leave a moment? The way you exit a conversation, a date, or even a room can linger in his mind far longer than the words you spoke. This is the art of leaving a lasting impression without words. A silent move so subtle yet so profound that it makes him chase you even when you're not around. Think about it. When was the last time someone's departure left you curious, intrigued, or even yearning for more? The beauty of a well-timed, graceful exit is that it leaves things unfinished, open to possibility. It creates a gap he feels compelled to fill, a gap that keeps you on his mind long after the moment has passed. The secret to this silent move is all about poise and intentionality. Whether it's the end of a date or the close of a conversation, you want to leave him with a sense of wonder and admiration. This doesn't mean being abrupt or cold. It's about knowing when to step away and doing so in a way that feels effortless and confident. Let's break this down. Imagine you're on a fantastic date and the chemistry is undeniable. The conversation is flowing and it feels like you could talk for hours. Instead of letting the date drag on until the energy starts to dip, you decide to end it on a high note. With a warm smile, you say, "I've had such a great time tonight, but I should get going." That one statement, paired with your confident exit, leaves him wanting more. He'll replay the night in his mind, wondering when he'll get to see you again. Or picture this. You're having a conversation over text. Instead of continuing to message back and forth until the energy fizzles out, you leave things on an intriguing note. Maybe you share a playful comment or a light tease and then say, "I'll talk to you later." By stepping away before the interaction becomes routine, you keep the momentum alive. He'll be thinking about what you might say next. The same principle applies in person. Let's say you're at a party or gathering and he's clearly enjoying your company. Instead of staying until the end and blending into the crowd, you leave just a little earlier than expected. As you walk away, you give him a lingering smile or a soft touch on the arm, just enough to leave an impression. Your departure becomes the highlight of the evening, a moment that sticks in his mind. But why does this work? It's simple. Scarcity creates value. When you're always available, always lingering, always present, there's no urgency to chase you. But when you leave at the right moment, you create a sense of rarity. You become someone who doesn't overstay their welcome, someone who knows their worth, someone he feels lucky to have in his life. Here's a key tip. Pair this silent move with confidence and authenticity. Don't overthink your exits or make them feel calculated. The goal is to leave him with a positive, lasting impression, not to play mind games. When you exit with grace and ease, you communicate that you're secure in yourself and your decisions. That's what makes you unforgettable. And don't forget the power of body language. Your non-verbal cues during your exit can speak louder than words. Hold your posture tall, make eye contact, and let your smile linger just a moment longer than usual. These subtle details create an energy he'll remember long after you're gone. Another important element is timing. Knowing when to leave isn't just about the physical act of stepping away. It's also about sensing the energy of the moment. Leave when the connection is at its peak, when the mood is light and engaging, when he's fully present with you. By leaving at the right time, you ensure that his last memory of you is positive and magnetic. Let's address a common question. What if he doesn't reach out after I leave? This is where your confidence comes in. Trust that the impression you've left is powerful enough to draw him back to you. If he's genuinely interested, your graceful exit will only amplify his desire to reconnect. And if he doesn't reach out, that's a reflection of his level of interest, not your worth. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you're with him, practice leaving at a high point. Pay attention to how it feels to step away with confidence and poise. Notice how it shifts the dynamic, how it leaves him wanting more. This simple act can change the way he sees you and the way you see yourself. If this idea excites you, take a moment to like this video and comment number 1 below to show that you're ready to embrace the art of leaving a lasting impression. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on how to captivate him and step into your full power. Now imagine this. You've left him with a lingering memory, a moment he can't shake. He's thinking about you, wondering when he'll see you again, planning how to reach out. That's the power of a well-timed silent exit. It's a move that's as subtle as it is unforgettable. Are you ready to make it yours? Let's keep going. The next move will take things to an even deeper level. 9. Patience and consistency. Playing the long game attraction isn't just about instant sparks or quick results. It's about creating something lasting, something that grows stronger over time. To achieve that, you need 2 essential qualities: patience and consistency. Silent moves are powerful, but they're not a shortcut to making him chase you. They're a mindset, a way of being that requires you to trust the process and play the long game. Let's start with patience. In a world where everything feels instant, texting, dating apps, social media, it's easy to expect relationships to move at the same speed. But meaningful connections don't unfold overnight. They take time to build, layer by layer. Patience allows you to sit with the quiet moments, to let him come to you, and to trust that the seeds you've planted will grow. When you're patient, you're not rushing to fill every gap in communication. You're not second-guessing his intentions or trying to force a response. Instead, you're staying grounded, knowing that what's meant for you will come in its own time. This kind of calm, self-assured energy is incredibly attractive. It tells him, I'm not in a hurry because I know my worth. But patience doesn't mean passivity. It's not about waiting endlessly for him to make a move or hoping he'll suddenly notice you. That's where consistency comes in. Silent moves are most effective when they're part of a steady, intentional approach. It's not about doing one thing once and expecting immediate results. It's about showing up day after day as the confident, magnetic woman you are. Consistency means you're not sending mixed signals. You're not warm one day and cold the next. Instead, you're clear in your energy and your boundaries. For example, if you've decided to let him take the lead in texting or planning dates, stick with that. Don't waver or fall into old habits of chasing him. This steady, unwavering approach builds trust and respect. It shows him that you're someone who knows what she wants and isn't afraid to stand by it. Now, let's talk about what happens when patience and consistency come together. Imagine you're cultivating a garden. Patience is what allows you to plant the seeds and wait for them to sprout, even when you don't see immediate results. Consistency is what ensures you're watering those seeds regularly, tending to the soil and removing the weeds. Together, they create the conditions for something beautiful to grow. The same is true in relationships. Your silent moves, your pauses, your timing, your strategic withdrawal are the seeds. Patience is what allows them to take root, and consistency is what ensures they bloom into something meaningful. But here's the hard part: trusting the process. It's natural to feel uncertain, to wonder if your silent moves are working, or to question whether he's losing interest. These doubts can lead you to act out of fear, sending that extra text, over-explaining yourself, or trying to control the situation. But fear-based actions only undermine the work you've done. They disrupt the flow of attraction and shift the energy from confident to needy. When those moments of doubt creep in, remind yourself of the bigger picture. Relationships built on genuine connection and mutual respect are worth the wait. The right man won't need you to chase him. He'll meet you halfway, drawn to your quiet confidence and steady energy. And if he doesn't, that's not a reflection of your value. It's simply a sign that he's not the one meant to be in your life. Stoicism can be a valuable tool here. Stoic principles teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions, mindset, and energy, while letting go of what we can't control, like his responses or feelings. When you embrace this mindset, you free yourself from the need to micromanage the relationship. Instead, you trust that your consistent, patient approach will naturally draw the right man to you. Let's take a practical example. You've been practicing strategic withdrawal, giving him space to miss you. But after a few days, you start to feel anxious. What if he's losing interest? What if he's forgotten about me? Instead of reacting impulsively, pause, breathe. Remind yourself of the foundation you've built, your independence, your confidence, your silent moves. Trust that he's processing, that he's thinking about you, and that your patience will pay off. This isn't always easy. Patience requires self-discipline, and consistency demands commitment, but the rewards are worth it. When you stay the course, you'll notice a shift, not just in how he responds to you, but in how you feel about yourself. You'll feel stronger, more grounded, more in control of your emotions. That inner strength will radiate outward, making you even more attractive. Think of patience and consistency as the quiet rhythm that underpins your silent moves. They're not flashy or dramatic, but they're powerful in their steadiness. They show him that you're someone who knows her worth, who isn't in a rush, who is playing the long game. So take a moment to reflect. Are you rushing the process, or are you trusting in the power of patience and consistency? Are you sticking to your silent moves, or are you wavering out of fear or doubt? When you embrace these qualities, you become a woman who's not just captivating in the moment, but unforgettable in the long run. 10. Final thoughts. Silence is your secret weapon. As we come to the end of this journey through the art of silent moves, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've uncovered. Silence isn't just the absence of words. It's a tool, a strategy, and a mindset. It's a way to create intrigue, build emotional depth, and shift the dynamic so that he's the one chasing you. Silence, when used with intention, becomes your secret weapon, a quiet yet powerful force that works in your favor. Think about this. How often do we underestimate the power of what we don't say? We live in a world that rewards noise, constant communication, instant responses, and oversharing. But the truth is, silence holds a kind of mystery that words can't replicate. It draws people in, makes them curious, and leaves them wanting more. When it comes to relationships, that's exactly the energy you want to embody. Here's the beauty of silent moves. They're not about manipulation or playing games. They're about stepping into your power, knowing your worth, and creating space for him to meet you where you are. They're about mastering the delicate balance between presence and absence, engagement and retreat. When you do this, you become unforgettable. Remember the steps we've explored, from embracing the power of mystery to mastering the art of timing. Each move builds on the last. You've learned how to use nonverbal communication to captivate him without saying a word. You've discovered how focusing on your own life makes you irresistibly independent. You've seen how patience and consistency allow your silent moves to bloom into something lasting. But let's not forget the most important element, confidence. Without it, silence can feel uncertain or forced. With it, silence becomes magnetic. Confidence is what transforms your silent moves from mere tactics into an authentic reflection of your worth. It's what allows you to trust the process, stand firm in your boundaries, and let him chase you, not because you need him to, but because you know you're worth chasing. Here's a practical way to think about silence. It's like a pause in music. Without pauses, music becomes noise. The spaces between the notes create rhythm, emotion, and impact. Your silence is the pause that gives your interactions rhythm and depth. It's what makes him lean in, listen closer, and crave more. Now I know what you might be thinking. What if silence doesn't work? What if he doesn't chase me? That's a valid concern. But here's the truth. Silent moves aren't about controlling his behavior. They're about elevating your own. They're about becoming the kind of woman who doesn't chase, who doesn't settle, who knows that the right man will recognize her value without needing to be convinced. If he doesn't, that's okay. Your silence will have done its job by revealing the truth of his intentions. It's better to know sooner rather than later whether someone is truly invested in you. And the best part? Silent moves don't just attract the right kind of man, they also help you grow. They teach you patience, self-discipline, and trust in yourself. They make you stronger, more confident, and more in tune with your own desires. So, I'll leave you with this. How will you use silence in your love life moving forward? Will you embrace the power of mystery, timing, and independence? Will you let your silent moves speak louder than words? If you're ready to step into this new version of yourself, start now. Take what you've learned here and make it your own. If you've enjoyed this journey and feel inspired to try these silent moves, I'd love for you to like this video and comment number 1 below. Let me know which part resonated with you the most and how you plan to put it into practice. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more empowering insights like this. Imagine yourself a few months from now, a woman who doesn't chase, who doesn't settle, who lets her silence do the talking. Imagine how freeing it feels, how magnetic you become, how effortlessly he starts to pursue you. That's the power of silent moves, and now it's yours to use. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to celebrate what this journey has been about, reclaiming your power, embracing your confidence, and using silence as a tool to let the right man step up and chase you. You now hold the keys to a new way of approaching attraction, one that feels authentic, empowering, and uniquely yours. Silent moves aren't about manipulation or withholding. They're about creating space for curiosity, desire, and genuine connection to grow. They're about setting a standard that says, I know my worth, and I trust you to rise to it. When you embody this energy, you become magnetic, not just to him, but to everyone around you. This isn't just a strategy, it's a transformation. It's about shifting your focus inward, cultivating a life that fulfills you, and letting your independence shine. It's about trusting the process, being patient, and knowing that what's meant for you will find you. So let me ask you, what's your next step? How will you take what you've learned today and apply it in your life? Will you embrace the power of mystery? Will you focus on your passions, your growth, and your happiness? Will you trust in your silence and let it speak volumes? The choice is yours, and the possibilities are endless. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to take action. Like this video, comment number 1 below, and share your thoughts. What was your biggest takeaway? What silent move are you most excited to try? And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss more tips and insights that will help you. Conclusion: step into your power and transform your relationships. Thank you for being here, for investing in yourself, and for daring to explore a new way of thinking about love and attraction. Remember, you are worthy of being pursued, admired, and cherished, not because of what you say, but because of who you are. Trust in your silence. Trust in your power. Trust that the right person will see it, feel it, and chase it. Until next time, stay confident, stay radiant, and most importantly, stay true to yourself. You've got this.